Okay, I took 3 pounds of potatoes and I want to keep my lid. And today I used our golden retrievers are playing with their bones in the background, so you're going to hear them. We just have a normal family around here. And so they like to play take away from each other. Okay, and so I did 3 pounds of gold potatoes today, and I did boil them in salted water, and you can tell when they're done. See how they just easily fall apart? But you can use russets, you can use reds, whatever your family likes. It's going to be the same thing. So the most important thing, I have so many people always ask me, how are my potatoes? They're so creamy. The first thing you do after you have drained your potatoes is while they are hot, very important, you want to turn your mixer on low and you want to break them all up to get them nice and smooth before you start adding anything to them. We're making roast beef, roasted carrots, and gravy today. So you'll have to look for my roast beef recipe here in the video line to find out how I do that to make the most delicious gravy to go with these potatoes. See how smooth they are now? That's how you prevent having lumpy potatoes, okay? And then for the 3 pounds of potatoes, I melted 1 stick of butter. Now I'm going to add that next, along with about a teaspoon of sugar. And if you make less than 3 pounds of potatoes, then you'll just kind of adjust those accordingly. So if you make 1.5 pounds of potatoes, then you'll use a half a stick of real butter. See, now I got all that incorporated. Now this is where, and since I had hot potatoes, I added hot butter. And why would you want to add cold, heavy whipping cream or cold half and half? I normally use heavy whipping cream, but I didn't have any today. And so I'm using half and half. And I gradually add that because this is going to be where you get your consistency of your potatoes. And I heated that milk for the half and half. And you can use whole milk, you can use skim milk, you can even use chicken broth if that's what you want to do. But for my recipe, I always use heavy whipping cream, half and half. There was times when I lived out in the country and it was too far to town, I just used regular whole milk. And I still had delicious mashed potatoes. And so if you like them this consistency, then stop adding the half and half. But I have found too that once you have finished getting them to the right consistency, don't throw away that milk, because if they're sitting for just a few minutes before you serve them, they can stiffen up a little bit. And you'll want to save some of that milk to add at the last minute. And I have my roast beef over here keeping hot under the lid, and then I'm about to slice it after I'm done with this, and it will be time to serve. And I have, for these 3 pounds of potatoes, I have about 1 cup of half and half. Like I said, always add it. You can always put more in. As I always say, you have a hard time taking it out. If you put them in, you'll have a pile of water with potatoes mixed in. I think 1 cup's going to be about perfect, but every potato is different. The starch content's different. You might need more. Grab a spoon. That is how you get mashed potatoes without any, or whipped potatoes without any lumps. I'm going to have Erin be my taste tester today and tell me what she thinks. Here we go. Nice and creamy? Mm-hmm. Anything I need to add? A little more sugar. Pinch of salt, pinch of salt, pinch of sugar. Okay, so I'm going to put in, I'm going to listen to Erin, she knows, I'm going to put in a pinch And put in a pinch, because remember, we have that meat that's already salted, and we have the gravy that's already salted. So we don't need to do a whole lot, but you don't want bland potatoes. That's why it's very important. Never skip salting your potatoes while they're boiling, or you will never be able to get them to taste salted by adding them afterwards. So now I'm going to keep these hot over by my stove, and I'm waiting for my roasted carrots to come out, and then we're going to be time to eat.